San Antonio's Voice tonight. If you have ever complained you just don't have the time to do what you really want to do with your life, or maybe you're waiting for inspiration to hit, well, I want you to meet San Antonio's Jay Brandon, as he could be your inspiration. He's very, very successful in both his very demanding jobs.
This year it's 30 years since my first novel was published, so I've got a lot of experience at this.
Jay Brandon is a novelist in his second job, when he writes on weekends and at least a couple of evenings a week. And yes, he's pretty successful at it. Before we get to his day job, Brandon's 17th novel just came out, called Shadow Knight's Mate, an international thriller, which once again drew fans to a reading at a Barnes & Noble. And once again, he's treated kind of like a rock star.
Are you the author?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This footage I shot of him more than 20 years ago, when his first courtroom thrillers were coming out. Loose Among the Lambs, after Fade the Heat, Tripwire, and Rules of Evidence.
Several of my books have been optioned for screenplays. Fade the Heat was optioned by Amblin Entertainment, which was Steven Spielberg's company. One of them was optioned by Burt Reynolds, one by someone who's become notorious since then, Bill Cosby.
No movies of his books have actually been made yet, but his books sell very well, published in more than a dozen languages.
Yeah, this is another Russian edition.
He's not sure exactly how many copies are out there, but
All worldwide, it would be in the low millions.
So with all that success, you wonder, why does he keep that other day job as a top prosecutor with the Bexar County District Attorney's Office?
Looking good.
People ask me that question nearly every week. They say, "Why are you still practicing law? You're such a great writer. My wife loves you. She checked one of your books out of the library and loved it so much she went to Half Price Books and got all the rest of your books. So why are you still practicing law?"
But law also gave him the background for many of his novels, some set in San Antonio. In the courtrooms where he defended people years ago, he's now the prosecutor. Many people still sure they know exactly who his characters are based on.
Nobody ever thinks it's him or herself. They say, "Oh, that stupid judge in your book, that's so-and-so, is it?" Nobody ever says, "Oh, that greedy lawyer in book, that's me, isn't it?"
Because it'll be tough, like I said.
In a way, it's refreshing to write fiction after what I do all week. It's a real escape for me. Once I get into it, I really enjoy being in that other world.
And back to making the time to write or do whatever it is you've always wanted to. His advice?
You just have to be ruthless about it if you actually want to accomplish anything, because I know people who want to write but say, "Well, I'm waiting for inspiration to strike." You can't wait for inspiration to strike. You have to grab it.
Grab this book. That was Jay Brandon. His book is Shadow Knight's Mate, and it's also got some blurbs comparing him to Dan Brown, and he's also been kind of a John Grisham kind of guy. So check that out. David?
That's a cool story, Beamer. I love that old video. All right, game.